G'day Makita fans, welcome back to another review. If you're new here, welcome aboard. Don't forget to subscribe and hit like and all that stuff. Those of you who have been following the channel for a long time, many of you have said to me, why haven't Makita given you anything for free? Makita should be helping you out. Makita should be setting you up with tools. You should never have to buy Makita tools, the amount of free videos you do for them. Well, guess what? Makita have given me something for free. They gave me this AWS chip for free. But not only that, I was in Makita HQ a couple of weeks ago here in Auckland, and they also gave me these because I had a bit of a chat to them and they said, hey, we'd like to give you some free stuff. And I was like, okay, sweet. Hopefully my fans won't get too angry about that. And so they asked if I wanted anything, and I said, well, what about let me show you. And I said, what about a 40 volt XGT AWS Vac extractor doohickey? That way I can check all the AWS tools that I review and see how good they are with the AWS system. So they hooked me up with this. So if you're a long time watcher of the channel and you wondered if I got the tools for free, up until this point, no. None of the Makita tools you've seen on my reviews have been given to me for free until now. So cheers Makita, I've been using this for the last couple of months now and it's been very handy, and now I'm going to tell you guys all about it. If you're a long time follower of the channel, you'll know that me getting something for free doesn't mean I'm going to be nice to it or that I am going to give it a positive review. I will be honest, I don't care if I get free stuff or not, you know, but it is much appreciated, Makita. Anyway, let's take a look at some of these features. This is the Makita XGT VC004G 15 litre vacuum. It is not a wet dry model, and in the States it is the GCV04. If you're interested at any point in purchasing one of these or finding out more information, take a look down in the description. Hopefully I will have found some links and I'll bung them down there. Before we look inside where the dust goes, let's have a look at the control panel on the front here. At the bottom we have the area for the AWS chip, and there she is. It is not the one that Makita gave me for free, which is still sitting here in the packet. The vacuum in this part of the world does come with the chip. May not where you are, but it does here. I'm not a great fan of the way these clip in, but they're shaped in such a way that you can only put them in one way around. So I tend to poke them in manually like that, and then put this thing back in afterwards. And make sure you put that end in first. If you try and put the other end in first, it's very hard to get in and you'll end up breaking this off. So just pop and she goes, and when you pull it out, make sure you wrench it round so that it hooks underneath these two little tangs on the chip. Above the AWS we have the suction dial, so the power of the suction, and above that we have battery indicator. Push that, it'll tell you how good your batteries are or are not. And at the top we have the main power switch, off in the middle, on to the right, so as soon as you touch it on the top it'll go, or on auto it turns on the AWS chip. Once that's got that blue flashing light, she is ready to be linked up. This front compartment lifts up to expose where your batteries go, and your batteries slide in upside down. Glide in nice and easy. You can see that one, 2 bars showing here on the front, so you don't have to lift that to find out. As you can see, it takes 2 batteries, but it's a 40 volt tool, not an 80 volt tool. It'll use up one side. Once that one's flat, it'll jump over to the other side and use up the other one. That helps you get much longer runtime from this thing. To close this, just let it go. Don't try and like push it down like this, as it just sort of doesn't feel like it clicks properly, but if you just let it go, it locks in perfectly. So it's so light and gentle that, yeah, it's so good that it took me a while to get used to, and I just kind of thought it wasn't latching, but it's just, yeah, it's very nice. And on the top we've got the power button, which won't work if the tool is in the 0 or off position. Flick it to on. There you go. Flick it on to auto and it will start up via your AWS chip in your tool, or also via that button. 2 casters on the front are multi-directional, and the ones on the back are fixed. The ones on the back also have brakes. If you push down on that with your foot, you have a brake they're not the greatest things in the world, not that I've been using them anyway. Has this grey rubbery bumper around the bottom to help protect walls and whatever you might smash this thing into. It weighs 10.5 kgs empty. It is IPX4 rated. It's light and easy to move around on the casters or carrying it. Although I do find when I'm carrying it, I tend to bump the large power button on my leg all the time and turn the thing on. But that's sort of my fault for not turning the thing off before I pick it up, I suppose. Got a couple of 8 amp hour batteries here for our runtime test. Better chuck them on the charger though, eh? Now these are the attachments that came with my vacuum, which may be different where you live and is different even from the Makita New Zealand website. The website says you get a 2.5 meter long 38mm hose, which you do, but it doesn't mention that you get a 3.5 meter long 28mm hose. So it's a big sort of selling point really that should be on the website. It's not in the photos either that it comes with this, but it was definitely in the box. So it also comes with 3 attachments for different tools, you know, different sizes, 22mm, 24mm, 27mm, something like that. You'll probably need another couple depending on which tools you're trying to run. These fit most of them, but there are some oddball ones like say the little belt file sander, which has an even smaller one than that. It also comes with a head for vacuuming. It's quite good, but I vacuumed our whole house upstairs, which is mostly wooden floors, and that's fine, but on the carpet it doesn't like the carpet, and it doesn't have a little switch to like retract the bristles or the little rubber squeegee thing here. So yeah, it's kind of annoying. It's a bit stiff on carpet. Yeah, but once again, I won't actually be using that. This tool will be for sucking sawdust and stuff directly out of tools. That's what I'll be using it for. 90% of its life it'll probably live hooked up to a miter saw. So it also came with the sort of crevice nozzle and an attachment here to go on the vac so that you can put your hose pipes on there, and that, and a little hook there I guess so that you can wind up your power lead. Yeah, not that it comes with a power lead, of course. This is not a hybrid vac. It is 40 volt max only. So anyway, this is quite sexy looking. It's like real smooth, like where they go into it, lock into each other at the ends. You can't visibly see the flare, and it's an aluminium pipe. Comes apart there, and it's yeah, nice color and everything. If you're into such things. A bit bright on the screen here, eh? We need to back this off a bit because it looks like it's white plastic or something, which it ain't. How about we try it there for a moment? So that, as you can see, nice and silvery, matte sort of finish. It's a good looking vacuum. If you're interested in your vacuum cleaner looking good, which really doesn't matter too much, eh? Now both the 28mm hose and the 38mm hose can both go straight into the front of your vac, or they do clip together, giving you a total of 6 meters of hose, which is quite nice. Most of the time I've noticed I've just been using it with the narrower 28mm one, as it's a lot more flexible than the larger 38mm one, which is a far sturdier hose. Now it is an L class vac, which I know isn't going to appease all of you. A lot of you are going to want an M class or even an H class, but hey, it is what it is. Basically, an L doesn't filter particles down to as small as an M does, and an H goes better again. You also have to be aware of people doing flying jump kicks over your vac. That could be hazardous. You're standing there vacuuming and somebody flies over the vac like this and kicks you in the back of the head. Not good. So it's something you need to be aware of when you're using this vac. When you review tools all the time, you end up with a lot of offcuts that are of no use, and they end up all over the ground everywhere. And I just want to see if this new vac can suck them up. Well, no problem there, it would seem. Kids, don't try this at home. Okay, so I was pretty impressed with that. So now let's take a 50mm, 16mm diameter stainless steel threaded rod here and see if we can do it. We'll review our imperially. If you use the inch one, Then this is 2 inches by 5/8 of an inch. Still stainless. Well, that's all the suction I need. That's proof enough for me. If it can suck up 2 inch, I mean, yeah, done. So that's the amount of crap from every single hole I'm drilling if I don't have the vacuum turned on. And with the vacuum turned on, the plane has started not behaving too happily. I think we've filled up the... Yeah, she's chocker. Pity it doesn't have some sort of indicator to tell you it's full. I hate this part of it because look at this. You know, it's, yeah. I'd rather have an enclosed bag, I think, because this filter just gets covered in so much shit, as you can see. So I think we'll try one of the filter bags, eh? Planing is about the quickest way you can fill one of these bags. Fills up real fast. So I've got the bag in there, still meant to put all this stuff on. Gave it a bit of a blow with the little dust blower. Chuck it back in. I've got an AWS chip in there. We have the AWS 40 volt vac here. I'm gonna try and make this as dust free as possible while I chop up some concrete over there. Well, that's pretty dust free. Happy with that. No mask required. Now, apart from a little bit of spray at the beginning, that worked perfectly. Fired that out to start with, but hey, the groove is clear. And I just checked and I only had the vac on 3/4, not full power. It sounds like it's full again, as well as sort of losing suction. It gets a sort of helicopter sort of sound. So anyway, let's get rid of this bag, see if there's any other crap in there. Pretty clean on the top, a little bit of dust there. So there's a bit of stuff in the top there, but not sure if that's come through the bag anyway. It's big chunky stuff. I think that might have been stuck on the filter when I put it back in. It's pretty tight. She's a bit full. Full to the brim. I have to clean that out before we proceed. I think I'll stick another one of those bags in because this bamboo composite shit that I'm cutting is horrible stuff, so I don't want that going anywhere else. I don't want it, yeah, so I'm going to chuck in another one of those. Huh? That's pretty cool, eh? As you can see, shit still builds up, but it's not a problem. Push the old button on the miter saw. Right, let's go chuck these in the vac. I'm going to set the vac to on and run it on the miter saw. I'm going to let it run continuously with 2 8 amp hour batteries, see how long we can get out of it on full suction. After 10 odd minutes, minute mark. 43.5 minutes and 1 bar showing and 1 bar flashing. That's the first time I've seen one flash coming out of this vacuum. They're normally just 1 bar and they still work for quite some time on something like a fan or radio. Let's see if the charger thinks they're too hot to charge. I'm guessing the one that cut out first probably doesn't need the fan to cool it down before it starts charging, but the other one may do. Let's see. Alright, the left one's too hot, the right one's okay. How do I know that? Because this light is flashing slowly, this one is flashing fast. If it's flashing slow, it's because it's too darn hot. So this one isn't actually charging right now, it's just having air blowing through it from the fans within the charger. This one will be charged first because it's already going. Looks like I need to suck my vacuum off. Now I'm not going to give you the suction numbers of this thing because different countries use different measurements and different websites around the world have got different numbers as well. So how about I just do this? Bit of 4/2. No problem at all. Core 10 steel. 2.5 mil. Square tube, 5 mil. Well, I don't know about you, but that's all the suction I need. Now, of course, you don't have to use bags, but why wouldn't you? Considering it comes with a pack of 10 anyway, plus the one that was in it to begin with. In other words, it comes with 11 of these polythene bags, but it will of course work without a bag. But she's a bit messier. Now Makita know that their miter saws don't catch everything with the dust collection. You know, there's always a bit of shit at the back. It catches a lot, but not all, and it's very dependent on the blade that you have on the tool as well. With the Makita Effie cut blades, pretty good. Chuck on something like a Diablo blade, and you'll all of a sudden notice that dust is not going where it should do anymore. The solution to that is this little button here. When I push that, the vac starts up. So you can turn on and off the vac from the handle of the 40 volt miter saws. So why would you do that? So that you can do this. Pretty nifty, huh? But it does something else that I didn't think it was going to be able to do, and that's this. Miter saw. It can link to multiple different tools all at once. I didn't think it was going to be able to do that. I thought I'd have to turn it on each time and that sort of stuff. But it connects to everything so easily. All you do, chuck your battery on. This will flash red. Turn it on by just holding it for a couple of seconds. You'll get a blue flashing light. As long as you've used that chip before, it will automatically connect to the vac as long as the vac's turned on into auto mode. So easy. And it will stay connected to however many, I don't know how many it does. I've only got 3 chips to try it with, so I may do, that might be the max, it might do 4 or 5, it might do as many as you have, I don't know. But super cool not having to reactivate things and fluff around with chips or anything. You just pull the trigger and away you go. You do of course need to swap the hose over. Or have multiple hoses and a junction on the vac. Which is something I'm going to look into. So what do I think of the VC004G cordless vac from Makita? Well, I think it sucks. Real good. This thing has made me a much tidier Kiwi. I have not been good for dust extraction in the past. I tend to let shit blow all over the driveway and wherever the hell else I am doing things. So this is making me work much cleaner. It's something I've wanted to get for a long time, but I keep putting it off because there's always a cooler power tool, you know, a metal cutting saw or a massive big circular saw or something like that, which always knocks this thing out of my buying situation. So cheers to Makita for hooking me up, because it is a very good tool and I have been using it every day. I've been thrashing this thing. So what else is left to say? Well, there is a Mac pack unit that goes on the top of here, so you can stack your Mac packs on top if you so desire. Wheel them around with your vac. Effectively your vac becomes a trolley. Not a bad idea. If you're thinking of getting one of these though, make sure you got a heap of batteries, because it sucks through the juice. If you're on full whack, it goes through those batteries super quick, as you saw. Even with the biggest batteries you can get, the maximum runtime you're going to get from this thing on full power is 43.5 minutes. But even at half power, it has a heap of suction. Half is fine for like just vacuuming the floor and stuff. I tend to only have it on the high now when I'm using the miter saw, just because I want to catch as much as I possibly can. But if I'm vacuuming the floor, routing, something like that, I have it in between quarter and a half. That way you get much longer run times. The AWS is awesome, haven't had any problems with that, and I'm sure you're going to see this vac in a lot more videos every time I test something that has AWS compatibility. Anyway, let's end this video by vacuuming the drive.